Daily plan with me using index cards. Each of my index cards contain a single action to take or a category of actions. If repeatable, such as cleaning my toilet, an action I completed on this day, they are then shuffled to the next date when the action is needed. If it is a one-off action, such as return a phone call, the card is recycled or reused later for the other single-use actions I might take. Here's my midday planning using index cards. This was from Tuesday, May 7th. We had watched McFarland with the boys the night before, so I didn't have any time prior to my out-the-door routine. I had already gone for a walk, done some of my 12-week year goal, and the laundry. So this is my card deck that goes through August. I have one that spans 2024 that I had created at the beginning of the year using a lot of the cards from the year prior. But I took everything that's not within my 12-week year and placed it in a card deck that's stowed away on our boat that I can get to. I mean, there's every once in a while where I need to shuffle a card to a specific month that's not in the card deck, but for the most part, I don't really have to go and grab it until like recently when my last 12-week year ended. So again, this is May 7th, but you're looking at the 6th right now. So all of these cards were from Monday on the 6th of May. I'm shuffling the ones that I got to on Monday. On this particular Monday, I did get all of my home management action cards done. So I was cleaning windows, mopping the floors, and I live on a boat. So let's be realistic. It really doesn't take that long, but some days I really just don't want to do it. Now I'm batching out the cards. I take off my YouTube cards and project cards and these daily cards and separate them to see what it is that I should be shuffling to the 7th, the day I'm filming this. These are the cards that I had already taken care of for the day. Now, I didn't need the cards to tell me to make my bed, but it does feel good shuffling those cards because I say, oh, I just got this done. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle them to the next day. It's just a small sense of accomplishment, which is nice. Now I have to get going on the afternoon dishes later in the day, so I shuffled that as well as the rest of the evening's cards in front of the 7 divider and behind my priming cards. Now this is my 12-week year cards. They're in this light gray. These are all free cards that you can download. I'll include the link below. I'm shuffling the card that I feel like I'm going to get to on the 9th in front of the 9th. These cards I filled out on the way home on the ferry on Sunday night, and I had just placed them on Monday thinking, oh, I need to go over and review them tomorrow. I did work on a 12-week year action in the morning while I was out doing laundry, so I'm just going over seeing what action cards I can cross off and shuffle in front of my week 1 scorecard. I knew to work on those things because, like I said, I had just written out the cards, but for the most part with the 12-week year, it is really helpful to go through each morning and, like the book that I'm reading right now calls it, have your daily huddle. Look at the day's to-dos, your responsibilities, and get in the right frame of mind to have a great day. This is a card that is a YouTube card. Old habits die hard. I had accidentally placed it in front of my week 1 because I've done a 12-week year for YouTube in the past. But now my YouTube cards go in front of the YouTube 5 divider or YT5. So I just shuffle it back there. I noticed I didn't set my lead and lag for my YouTube scorecard yet, and that's good because as of yesterday, I need to make changes to what I was planning to make here in May. I'm just shuffling the completed 12-week year cards in front of the week 1 divider, and I'll do my weekly accountability meeting on Saturday in which I'll be giving myself a score. That's what that divider is for. And all those actions are just living there in front of the scorecard. I'm not crossing them off as I complete them. The storage space card is one that I've been slowly working on, and I know I'm not going to get to it again until later on in this week, so I'm just shuffling it to the day I will most likely need it. I won't think about it again until then, except maybe a little. We're moving our storage from the mainland to the island, and in the process need to whittle it down even further. The chore wheel card I've now skipped twice, and I really have to focus on it by the end of the week because, like I said multiple times, we have a haul out coming up, and I want to make sure that all of these big chores for the boat are noted and ready for when that time comes about. And then there's this fire extinguisher card. I already emailed her, so I just need to remember to follow up on that email. Technically, my Wednesdays are set aside for these administrative tasks, but I had emailed her on Monday. I've until the end of May to get those serviced, so I just went ahead and placed it in front of the 13th, and I'll give her a call or email her again if I don't hear back from her. These product cards are ones that I really need to be working on, and I've been doing a little bit here and there, and it's going to be interesting to see what I end up doing with them as I go into my 12-week year, because these little bits at a time are hard to stop and start while keeping a good design flow. I need to set aside dates where a whole block of time I'm focusing on product making or YouTube and video editing. And then I have my blocks around that for writing. I don't know. That's what this whole week with my 12-week year is set up for. It's for figuring out when I'm going to be doing all of these things, and it's absolutely one of the most crucial steps within the 12-week year. I learned that the hard way with the last 3 ones I've done, so I'm spending extra time making sure I get it right, and I'm giving myself some wiggle room so that I can make changes throughout the 12-week year. These cards are batched YouTube video ideas I had written out at the end of April. As I mentioned a moment ago, when I sat down to go over my 12-week year writing goals, I was like, oh my goodness, I need to make some changes to what I planned for YouTube. My May videos were on topics that I had found interesting or that I wanted to discuss, but not necessarily what would help the most amount of people in the biggest way I could, while still making it manageable to stay consistent with my focus being in other areas of life. This channel is here for those who are interested in planning with index cards, showing people like myself that have so many ideas out there and need to focus, that we can reach our goals with a little creativity, strategic action, and a positive attitude. So I'm trying my hardest to keep it simple in both thought and action, even though I really don't like to keep it simple. I'm writing down my memory here on the 6th. Yes, I'm still wrapping up the 6th. We went and did a community theater tour on Monday. I did a short about my experience with the tour and also around the 12-week year. I've been making shorts to not only show you how I'm going about my 12-week year, because that's often a request, but it's also a nice journal for myself. I can look back and see what it was that worked and what didn't work with some clarity. I'm organizing my June action cards here for a moment, placing them in front of the June divider. All of those date dividers in front of the June divider have already been passed for May. They now stand for June dates, such as June 1st, June 2nd, and so on. Every once in a while, I organize them, seeing if there's any tasks that can go in front of the date dividers. If not, I just wait for the dividers that are being shuffled to the back as the dates pass. Now the 6th is wrapped up, and I'm moving into the day's plans. Here are all of my priming cards. I just made the new vision board, and there's definitely a few things I'm going to have to redo, but done is better than just in my head. And it was such a fun activity because a lot of these have to do with the setting within my novel. Many of the photos are personal photos. It was so fun to relive all of that and remember why it is that I'm excited to write this book. But the coloring is really annoying because I should have switched the ink cartridge and I didn't. And then there's also a little white space I didn't catch. But anyway, I'll go back and fix it another time. And then I have some affirmation cards that I go through, and then a weekly rhythm card. I don't need to be reminded anymore of what it is that I'm supposed to be focusing on each day, but it's kind of nice to go through and just say, this is where I am. I don't know about you, but I like to touch my plans. It makes me feel grounded as I go into the day. I know a lot of you, even if you're not using index card planners, if you're using a physical planner, it just feels good to touch your plans. My writing card was from NaNoWriMo. I redid my scribe card to pull out the writing that was from that catch-all morning routine card. I'll skip that card to the month I plan on focusing on my draft. The 40-day sugar fast. I'm almost done. And this is just a touch point where I say, okay, I'm on this day and I'm moving forward. There's also a Bible verse and a reminder of what it is that I'm focusing on around no sugar. I went no sugar, but also removed anything that tastes sweet. So far, I don't want sugar back in my life because I feel so much better, even though some days it's really hard. Like, all I want to do is eat those candies called squashies. They're the best candy in the whole wide world. Or is it squishies? I think it's squashies. I dream about them sometimes, but I've been good and avoided them. I took the remainder of the daily cards that I had done and placed them in front of the 8th date divider. And now I'm going through the rest of the cards to see where I'm at. This is my little batch of bathroom items. On Tuesdays, or was it Mondays? I can't remember. I used to clean the bathrooms, the 2 that we had when I was in the house. I did both of them on the same day. I had all the tools out to do so, so it just made sense to get it all done at once. But for you, if you have more than one bathroom, you could also have bathroom cards for upstairs bathrooms, downstairs, something like that if you wanted to. The propane or coal card, that's from the Storm Christmas card selection that I sell in my Etsy shop. On the boat, we do have to often replace our propane. It's what we use as far as our cooking fuel goes. And my husband went to refill it on this day. A nice example of a delegated card. In my head, I'm trying to figure out when it is that I most likely will need to have him do that again, and I think it's going to be at the end of June. I have a spreadsheet for our boat log where I log the date that we swapped the tanks, and it's like an average between 45 to 60 days depending on how much I cook with the heat. These are all YouTube daily cards. I did complete those in the morning. The bathroom cards I'm batching, and I'm going to go ahead and get started on those immediately after I'm done with my planning. I set them aside on my table so I know where I'm at. The vision board template postcard is not so much the template, but the highlighted piece of the spring catalog. I've been putting that off. I have ideas in my head, but I really just don't know where to start from with that. So after the bathroom items, I was going to work on that spring catalog, which I did. It's hard. It's a great idea and I'm really excited about it. But as far as the design goes, I want it to look good. And in my head, it looks a lot better than what I did last night. So I'm going to continue to work on that. Now that I'm done, I put my cards away and I'm going to throw them in my backpack because I'm going on a school run and I will go ahead and shuffle any cards that I complete during that time. And also touch the plans for the day. It just keeps me off my phone and it's kind of fun to see what it is that I've planned throughout the week. So this is a daily plan with me on Time and Time plans using index cards. And like I said, it's a little different because I like to plan with my cards in the morning, but I don't always get to it until later in the day. If you have any questions, go ahead and let me know in the comments.